simulation. There are three types of model: functional model, constraints model, and spatial model. First is the queuing simulation. What is queuing simulation? Queuing simulation is a methodology that can answer these questions. What is the purpose of queuing simulation to our example about EasyPass? See the picture. Of, of significant concern is the length of the ramp that ordinary drivers use to pay cash or credit card for the tool. If traffic is busy enough and there are too many drivers not using EasyPass, the queue of the cars at the toll booth could potentially get so long that traffic on the main highway becomes disrupted. So the questions to answer are: how long will the queue get during various times of the day and various days of the year? And what is the trade-off in loss of revenue versus length of ramp if we have to stop charging tolls when the traffic volume is too high for the paid toll booths to operate safely? An arrival event signals the entry of the next car into this queuing simulation aspect of the EasyPass system. A new entity arriving will enter the queue if one already exists or immediately begin being serviced. The entry of this entity will immediately cause a new arrival to be scheduled. An entity or car that has completed paying the toll will then depart the system, causing a new departure to be scheduled for the next entity beginning service. This queuing simulation model will provide better estimates that are tailored to the EasyPass system parameters. So the first types of model is the functional model. Based on the book, functional model is about the stopping distance between the end of the queue and the car, meaning the total queue time. Let us consider that in addition to knowing that average and maximum queue length for the toll ramp, we need to know that there is adequate stopping distance between the end of the queue and the car that exited the main highway. So given the speed limit for this stretch of road and assuming good weather condition, the permits traveling and the speed limits, so what is the stopping distance that is needed? The following diagram shows the situation and parameters of interest. The resistive force due to friction after brakes are applied is given as FF, which is formula, which is equal to the coefficient of friction multiplied, friction mean multiplied by the force applied by the weight of the vehicle. That is FF equals to mean mg, where m is the mass, g is the acceleration due to gravity. Since this force is applied in opposite direction to the movement of the car, the result is actually a deceleration. So see the figure below, figure 6.9, EasyPass deceleration diagram. So the well-known equation is the acceleration and the velocity. Acceleration is equals to dv over t, indicate that acceleration is derivative of velocity with respect to time. And velocity is the v equals to dx over dt. Velocity is the derivative of distance with respect to time. We create a block model with these relationships. A block model is a connected network of components that have transfer function with different capabilities depending on the type of component. A block or connectable icon is representing. Inputs to a block will produce output via an internal equation. The integrator block shown by the integration symbol provides the derivative relationships described by the physics-based equation above. The G is given, so G is 9.8 meter seconds per squared. If we assume that the friction coefficient on a nice weather day is 0.75, the deceleration AF will be equal to mean G equals to 0.75 times G, which is 9.8. The result is 7.35 meter per second squared. Also, based on the speed limit, the initial velocity of 0 will be approximately 25 meter per second. Note that the plot starts initially from 25 meters per second on the vertical axis and consistently decreases until zero velocity. The left plot is, as I said, so this deceleration occurs in about 3.4 seconds. The right plot, is the output of the distance block in the block model. The vertical axis here is the distance traveled in meters. The second types of model, the constraints model. So constraints model are similar to functional models except the directed nature of the connected components, as can be seen from the block model, is less important than the physics-based relationships among system components and the balancing of those physical properties. So constraint model tackle about the energy of the car between moving and stopping. The change in energy here is equal to work done in stopping the car, which is essentially the force due to friction applied in the opposite direction over the stopping distance. Our easy path stopping distance problem can be approached in this manner. First, the kinetic energy is associated with the moving car is equal to 1 half mv squared, where m is the mass and v is the velocity. So, given the formula of the kinetic energy, solving for the stopping distance d, we get the d equals to 1 half v squared over mean g. The initial velocity we use for our car is 25 meters per second. And so 1 half v squared is equal to 625 over 2. The result is 312.5. From before, we know mean g to be equal to 7.35 meters per second squared. So our stopping distance d is equal to 312.5 over 7.35. The result is 42.517 meters, which is equivalent to what we obtained using our functional model. Assuming a 1,088 kilogram vehicle and remembering that the vehicle was stopped in approximately 3.4 seconds, the power associated with this system is 1,088 times 312.5 over 3.4 is resulted to 100,000 joules per second. So in our easy pass system example, these relationships were kept within a single domain, but if we were using a motor to crank a generator to in return create electricity that powers a lantern where our objective was to measure the heat from the lantern, this relationship would span many domains. The energy balance across the domains would create constraints that enable the needed analysis. Band graphs are tools that often used to allow this multi-domain modeling. Band graphs are based on a generic model of power transfer in various domains and span electrical, mechanical, hydraulic, terminal, and chemical systems. The generic model focuses on effort flow where the product of the two is power. Effort in the mechanical domain we have model is equivalent to force while flow is equivalent to velocity. They are called band graphs because the elements in the graph specify the relationships between effort and flow on the connections or bonds in the graph. The last model is the spatial model. Spatial models are multi-element models where either the spaces of the system are the elements or the entities within the spaces are the elements. Addition trait of this model is the elements are treated in a somewhat regular manner. So the rules of updating spaces or the behavior of entities within the spaces are uniform for many, if not all, of the elements. So in general, cellular automata are regularized matrices of cells in which each cell has the same set of rules applied to update information within itself. A given cell may also utilize the current information in neighboring cells but may not change information in other cells. The game of life is popular implementation associated with cellular automata. There are 5 rules. The simplest: the cell is alive or dead. A cell stays alive if there are 2 or 3 other live cells around it. If there are less than 2 live cells around it, dies of loneliness. If there are more than 3 live cells around, it dies of overcrowding. The last is the if a cell is dead and there are 3 live cells around, it becomes alive. For our easy pass system, we will draw upon rules governing the transfer of heat using a differential spatial model but also dividing up our system into elements. We will utilize a lot of assumption for this one. We will assume that brakes are applied when the car is traveling in one direction and the maximum heat is transferred at the moment that the brakes are applied. Also, we will look at a small dimensional segment of road and treat it as an isolated homogeneous section of material. So we have the following figure. So it's this figure point 6.12 is our section of road where a tire has applied 1 unit of heat to center of the section. To assume a uniform material will conduct heat both direction, and so we want to study how this heat will dissipate over time, eventually determined based on the time between vehicle arrivals, whether or not this heat will linger to affect a change to our coefficient of friction used in the previous evaluation. So to start, we divided our material into 9 equal parts and shown in the figure. So this is indeed and multi-element model, and because we will use a partial PDE, the heat equation, to model the relationship between elements. This is also the finite element model. The heat PDE specifies the rate of temperature change with respect to time and